Welcome everyone. Welcome to our channel again. And this is another episode of Interview with Selected Candidate. And today, guess what? Today I am at Oyo office. Oyo, right? The hot startup of India. He is Deepak. So Deepak basically he is working in Oyo as a web developer. And Deepak he has been hired I think 2 months back.
Yeah.
All right, for the front end development. So Deepak, please. You can start with about yourself first, and then after that we can start your interview experience, whatever the experience you had in the Oyo, right? So you can start with yourself first.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you so much for giving this opportunity.
Yeah.
And yeah. Basically, I started my career from BIT Misra.
Okay. Nice.
Okay. And then I got the campus placement in IBM, and then there I worked around 3 years, and then I went into Morgan Stanley, and then I prepared for the Oyo interview, and then I got selected here.
So tell to our user how did you apply to Oyo first thing, and then from there we'll take how many interview rounds you had. You can tell about that. So let's start with the how you connected the HR of Oyo first, and what was the initial discussion with the HR of Oyo?
Yeah.
How was it?
So I updated my profile in LinkedIn, and then Naukri and Monster. The other three basically profiling their candidates generally.
So basically LinkedIn, Naukri, and Monster.
And then I basically got call from LinkedIn.
So they have directly called you for the face-to-face round, or you had some kind of telephonic screening round as well?
No, so they directly called me for interview for face-to-face round.
Okay.
And they basically called me on the weekend, because in weekend generally we have the time.
So in HR round, so you mainly had a discussion about your availability, and apart from that, they wanted to know why you wanted to change your company, why you are looking out for the change, anything like that. Okay, so that was it for the HR round. It was not a HR round, but basically it was a screening round.
Yeah,
I can say that.
Not a screening round. It's basically I can say which candidate they have to basically onboard for interview.
For the interview. Okay,
That's the main thing.
Good. So how was your first round?
So in that screening round, they have given 4 programming questions.
Okay.
And they have given 1 hour. All the 4 questions are simply a program. Okay. So where we have a for loop, and then inside that we have a set timeout, and then we are basically printing something. So what is the basically output of that?
Okay.
That was the first question, and then they have asked how can you correct that one also?
How to correct
that output. So the second question was write a polyfill for bind.
Okay.
And the third question was there was a series of bracket, so parentheses and then curly braces and then square bracket, and they have given it in any order. Okay, so I have to basically pass that input, that bracket, and then I have to give the output this is the correct order of brackets.
Brackets or not?
Yeah.
So basically open and closing brackets.
Open and closing.
Right. So the order was random.
Yeah.
And now you have to figure out that whether you have the same numbers of closing bracket
and the same number of
opening brackets.
Yeah.
Right.
And the fourth question that is simply about write the polyfill for debounce function.
Okay.
So we have heard a lot about debounce function, it is basically used in search box.
So it lasts around 1 hour, as you said.
Yeah, it's around 1 hour.
1 hour.
Then I have waited for around half an hour.
Okay. So screening round also happened as in face-to-face round, or
no? They have given another question, and then they have given seats. And
to do that, you basically came down to the Oyo office, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there were around 5 interviews, if I'm including screening.
So was it walk-in types? No?
I can say walk-in type because around 20 people are there that time.
Who were writing the paper, right?
Right.
So how many out of 20? How many went for the second round? I mean, to the first round of the face-to-face.
I think approx 10 people.
Nice.
50%.
Okay. Remember this. 50% actually good amount, good chance, to qualify for the face-to-face round of interview. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. So what happened in the first round?
Yeah. So the first round is basically DS algorithm. So they started with the question there is 2 linked list, and how can you get the intersection of these 2?
Okay. So basically 2 linked lists is getting merged somewhere.
Yeah.
And you have to find out the merging point.
Okay. First I started thinking how can I get the optimal solution. Then interviewer told just do it the brute force solution. Then I started with the 2 for loop, one is outer and then is inner for loop. And then I able to solve that, but that complexity is basically O(n) square. So they told like now the complexity is
too high.
Too high. So can you reduce it? Then I was able to solve it into M plus
linear
n.
time.
Yeah.
So for users, I have been telling to user that it is okay to start with the brute force approach first, right? You don't have to jump into the optimal solution directly, right? It is okay, right?
Yeah.
It is okay. Start with the brute force, then you can slowly, you can narrow down to optimal solution, right? Okay. Then.
Okay. Then when I solved that, then he asked the second question. So he told like you have seen the browser. So how can you basically implement the back button and the forward button? So what do you think? How can you implement that?
Nice question. So if you are designing your own browser, then you have that features, back button and forward button, right? How you gonna implement it? Nice.
The very first thing it's come to mind, like I can use stack because that's something like I'm basically using the first in and then last out. Then he told like, can you do it through Linklist? So I used the double Linklist. Okay. And I also given the HK solution. So like what is the like if I am on the first page and then if I want to hit the back button, then obviously I am not going the back button because I am on the first page. Then I also wrote that condition because they are basically checking that I am
corner cases.
Corner cases, writing the things or not.
Right.
And I think one thing is very important, and whenever somebody is writing the program, they always have to like say something. Like if someone is writing the program, they always have to talk. Because if you are not able to solve the problem, at least interviewer will think, okay, this is your thinking process. At almost you are basically trying to solve that problem, so it's very important.
So remember this, while writing a code, you have to keep on talking with the interviewer. You have to keep on saying your strategy, right? What is your strategy? What the things is going on inside your mind? You have to keep on telling to the interviewer. It is very good point. Your chances getting higher will increase eventually. Maybe a little bit, but definitely it will increase, right? So that was the first phase.
That was the first round. Then he told like you can wait outside and HR will get back to you. Then I waited for around half an hour and then the second round we started.
Okay, so what happened in the next round?
So first he started with HTML part. Okay. So first basically not that one. So first we start with like tell me about yourself, how much experience you have, and what sort of skills and what the current project you are basically doing. And then he basically started with HTML. So he started with very basic questions. Okay, like what is doc type?
Doc type.
Yeah. So he first asked me like, have you used HTML5? I told yes. And then he started with what is doc type.
So basically, doc type do support for the HTML5, right?
Then second question he asked like, do you know how many storage are there in a browser? Then he told, suppose if you are working on a browser or if you are working on JavaScript, and there is one script which basically runs very long time. Okay, so suppose there is a for loop, something kind of stuff. So it's basically taking time, and for that reason, browser is not responding. Okay, so what do you think? How can you basically solve this problem? Okay, so I thought that he's simply asking about web worker. Okay, so web worker is basically the concept where if some script which is running so long, then we are basically moving that script to the web worker. Then he asked about like what is async and defer. Okay, and he basically told like, can you give me example like where I have to use and which one I have to use, what scenario defer. So we don't want to listen only the
definition
language because definitions.
The only definition that we don't want. The real implementation where we'll use defer and where we'll use async. So whenever you get a chance, like he asked a simple question, what is a async and defer? Right? You could have given a definition also, but here the main thing is you have to tell them the real implementation of data also, right? Don't give the only definition part, right?
So this I think that's all about the HTML, and then he moved into the CSS part. Okay. So again he asked the same question like how much you will rate yourself on CSS. Okay, so I tell him 4 out of 5.
Could have given 5.
I don't know. Maybe he will ask some question and I don't know. Okay. So 4 is something I can say it's like I'm safe on that area. I can say I'm not so confident.
That is like that is acceptable. You can do that. Okay. So
So first question he asked me, what is basically box model? I explained about all the things like what we are seeing in the console window and what are the how we see the padding, margin, all the things. What is the basically computed things? And then he asked about what is the type of display, what is the default display, okay, and then
Static.
Yeah, static one.
Actually, I am also. I have done lots of work in the front end side also, so I have a bit idea about it. Okay. Self promotion.
Okay. And then he asked about positions. Okay, so how many positions are there? And then he went into the flex part. Okay. He talked about what is flex. Then he told about
Flex basically we use it for to make it responsive, right?
Yeah, so we use we make it responsive and it's very easy to do. Like earlier we are using float and left, right, all that. But now if you are using the flex, then it is single dimensional array. The single dimensional thing. So mostly we are using single dimensional. Like if you want to make the table, then people are basically using grid. So earlier we are using the flex. So how can you basically center a div in the sense a block something at the center of a window. So the next question he asked, what is pseudo class and pseudo element? I want to mention one thing. So that the div part, which at that time he told like how can you basically align a div or align a block at the center. So that he gave me the like laptop and he told like can you do that?
Oh, so you wrote basically
so that time he basically want to check like how efficient I am writing CSS.
So did you do inline coding for CSS or you attached you created a separate CSS?
So they basically give me one online editor, and there I basically
inline.
I just basically write the class definition.
So that's what
that's all about CSS part.
Okay.
Now the third part, which is basically more like important, that is JavaScript. Okay.
JavaScript,
So he started with very basic question. Okay, so in JavaScript he basically asked what is hoisting, and then he talked about like what is function expression and function declaration. Okay, and then he gave you one scenario. Okay, so he have written some code, like he have written the function expression and then he have written the function declaration part, and he talked about what will the output.
So variable hosting, I think that is very important, and most of the interview they will ask this question.
Yeah, so it's not like the definition part. He asked about everything. He asked about the practical part.
Okay.
So second question he asked me more about the closure part.
Okay.
So he has written like if let I equal to 1, then ampersand that is basically AND operator, and then I equal to 2, and I equal to 3, and then inside the if block he write that console.log yes and else console.log no, and then he asked me like if I want yes, okay, so what the things you need to do in that variable so that I will satisfy all the 3 conditions.
So that expression basically you have to return at the as in true at the end. And the expression was I equal to 1 and I equal to 2. And I equal to 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what was the answer?
so basically here I have to use the closure. Okay, so here I have to make it as a closure. Okay. So what will happen? So I is basically would be any function. Okay, who is basically returning the things. The second question he asked me. So the problem is sum, then parenthesis 1, and then closing the parenthesis, and then again they have opened the parenthesis, and then 2. And then they have basically closed the parenthesis.
So what does it mean that signature function in one parenthesis or open and close parenthesis you have one variable one and again
not the function. So it's basically they are basically calling a function. So they want how can you basically write that function? If I'm writing
if you are calling this then what would be your implementation of?
Oh, is it? Yeah. So the problem is sum and then open parenthesis.
Some you are saying some function
SUM.
So that is the function name.
Function name.
And then in parenthesis bracket 1 closed. Then open again and close at 2.
Yeah, 2.
So is this a legal?
It is a legal.
Again, I was not knowing about it. So I think return would be 1 plus 2, 3. No.
Yeah. So they want return to be 3. So how can you basically write a program for that? So that is very obvious questions. Okay, so that is a concept of function curry function. Okay, where there is a function and one function is basically returning another
function chaining. So I got it. Function returning function.
Yeah. So it's basically like that. The next question he asked me about what is the difference between for each
Mm.
and map function? So next question he asked me, how can you create an object?
Okay.
Basically, how many ways you can create an object?
Mm.
So I answered like we have 3 ways.
Mm.
Okay, so we can create through curly braces, we can create through object.create, and we can create through new operator.
Mm.
So once I told the new operator, that time it's already coming to mind that maybe the next question he will ask that what is the difference between object.create and new. And I was right here. That time he asked me
Okay.
what is the difference between object.create and the new operator.
Mm.
Then I talked about like if I'm creating through object.create, I'm creating simply a
Prototype.
copy of prototype.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if I'm creating through new, it means that we are basically creating the constructor function.
Mm.
Okay.
You're calling a constructor function to create an object.
Yes. So both are the same thing. But only one additional thing I am doing through new. That is basically I am calling it constructor function. That's the only difference.
Yes.
The next question he asked me, okay, what is the difference between shallow copy and deep copy?
Copy. Oh, I suddenly reminded this. I think this kind of question is starting from C also, C plus also. Everyone, every language has this.
Yeah, every language has all these concepts.
Yeah, concept.
Deep copy, shallow copy, deep comparison, shallow comparison,
yes,
and then address, call by reference, call by value, inheritance, all the
exactly.
Only if you know the one
language fundamentals, if you are clear, then I think you can easily opt from another language, right? It's very easy. Okay, go ahead.
So then I answered like what is shallow copy and deep copy, and then he told me, okay, that's fine. Can you write a program for the shallow comparison and the deep comparison? I wrote, but that was not like I covered the all edge cases, all the corner cases. Somehow 80% I was able to write that.
Obviously, interview also knows that it is very difficult to remember each and everything, right?
Yeah.
So it is okay sometimes. I mean, if you're giving a 80-90% right answer, I think
that's fine because we also know that they also can from one interview.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Honest. Dil se nikla awaaz. Okay.
Yeah. So next question he asked me about what is prototype. Okay.
What is prototype? Okay.
And then he talked about what is prototype chain. The next question he asked me, what is the difference between underscore proto that we call dender proto. So dender proto versus prototype.
Okay. Cool.
So I answered that, and then he moved into the next one.
Okay.
So then he asked me, what is async and await? Okay.
Yeah.
So that is basically totally related to asynchronous. Yeah. So I talked about it, and he told me like where you are using it and why we are using async await and why not promises. So I talked about like promises basically asynchronous call, but if I'm using async await, I'm making asynchronous call into synchronous way.
Okay. So how many rounds we have? How many questions we already had in the second round? It's almost 6-7 questions, guys. So that must be. So that's what it. Last it was around 1.5 hours. 1.5 to 2 hours. That is a pretty long time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then he asked one question which is actually very tricky.
Okay.
Then he asked me, okay, suppose we know that we have a set timeout and we have a promise. Both are async function.
Okay.
So suppose both executed or both are present in a message queue. Okay, and both executed at the same time. Okay. Or both, I can say, like completed their time interval at the same time t. So both will come into the like queue. Okay. So which will
execute first?
Because both are asynchronous. So that one actually I heard, or actually I read on blog. So
Second will execute first, I think. Second. No, I'm not sure. What was that?
So actually the answer is promise will execute first. So right now what is event 2? Event 2 we have a call stack, then we have a message queue, and then we have a event queue. So once the browser that set timeout and the promise all are the browser API. Okay. So what happened that set timeout is simply go into the event queue, but for promise it will not go into the event queue. There is a separate queue that is called job queue.
So the priority for this job queue is higher than the
event queue.
Oh.
And then he asked about why we are using the arrow function. That is like good question. Okay. So
why we are using arrow function?
Arrow function.
Okay.
And when we have to use the arrow function, what is the purpose of using the arrow function?
Okay.
So then I talked about the descriptions, and then he talked about what is the difference between arrow function and the normal function. So basically arrow function is talking about the context where it has declared, you're taking the outer scope also in the inner scope.
Okay, so in short, if I can say that the normal function will, you have to use bind.
In normal function.
In normal function, you have to use the bind separately, but in the arrow function, you don't have to do that, right? In short, okay, that's fine. So Deepak, I think he has given almost how many questions? You faced 10 questions? 10?
Yeah, more than 10.
More than 10 in the second round of interview. Now tell me that out of 10, how many questions you actually gave the right the solution at that moment? Tell me in terms of percentage.
Okay, around I think 90%.
90%?
Yeah, I was able to solve. And the question which I was not able to solve, I simply like trying to solve it, like at least giving some idea what I have thought about that.
Okay, nice.
The second round more onto like JavaScript concept, what I am basically doing it. Okay, how about the JavaScript concept, HTML, CSS, what basically I am basically going to work.
So we are done with the second round then?
Yeah.
Or you still have something to tell? Please. We have enough time. We are here to hear you. That's all. Good. Okay, so this is a surprising element. Okay, this never happened before. So we actually took a break. Okay, we went out for the coffee. Me and Deepak, we had nice coffee. And so yeah, sorry about that, and we are resuming it now. So in last time we had covered the second round of interview, and in that Deepak had faced more than 10 questions, right? And in that he had answered more than 90% questions correctly, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So before we jump into the next round to get to know about the second round result, how long you waited?
So it's around 1 hour. I waited outside, and then HR come back to me and told like, congratulations, you selected for the R3 round.
Okay, nice.
So your R2 round is clear.
Okay.
Then when interviewer came, and then he started like, tell me about yourself and how was your interviews R2 round. He asked about like what you are doing, and is it hectic? So he talked about like, are you tired now?
He
so
was just
about,
trying
like,
to chill you out, like just be relaxed.
Just take relax.
Okay.
So he basically gave me his laptop, and he told me like, suppose I want to design a carousel. So he told me like there is a carousel. Okay. So he told me like, how can you design such carousel? So carousel is nothing, that's just a slides of something image.
Okay.
So
this was a more of a design question.
Yeah, so R3 mostly on the design related. So at the end they told like, can you write that these functions, what you have asked, what you have put, like how can you write the next button and the previous button basically.
Okay,
so we see that in the carousel there is a next button and previous button. Okay, and how many there are some parameters like how many images. So some slides has like one image only showing, some slides I have seen the 3 images.
Okay.
So these are the parameters which I have to decide. Basically, I have to think like how many basically parameters I need to give to the carousel. Okay. So the first parameter, next button, previous button functionality, and then number of image.
So basically in the system design, can you just little explain about like how any user, if any candidate is coming to attend that system design round, so basically how they should be approaching that to solve that problem. So in the system design, it's moreover like the design point of view, like what are the things you have to be done, or you have to write a code in that. Do they have to write a code in that?
Yeah.
Yes,
sometimes, but that is basically pseudo code.
Pseudo code. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, moreover is like the functionality which you have to be telling, like, okay, if you are designing something, then you have to have this functionality stuff and all, and then each and every functionality you have to write a pseudocode for that. You have to like that. Okay.
So from my point of view, I think that first of all, there are several questions like how to design the search box and how to design the carousel, and there are lots of questions. So if we just Google it, we can find it out. Like what are the questions, and we need to practice it basically. So if we simply think that either we need to practice it, or we can say that either we have worked on it earlier. And always we have to make sure that if we are making it, so we have to make it a generic code. Like I can make it as a library, so if I am making it carousel, so it should not be tightly coupled. Okay.
I understand.
So it's basically I can use it some other places.
Other places. It should be loose
So
coupled.
that is basically kind of modular design kind of.
Yes. Nice. So only one question you have faced in that system?
No. So the next question he asked me like, have you designed search box? Okay, so I told lots of time. That is very important for every website.
And I think this is very important question as well. Huh? I think you are in the search box design. If you go anywhere, Zomato, I have seen Zomato, Ola, anywhere you go, this is the standard question. They'll ask you to design your own search box. So this is very important. Yeah.
So in that search box, so first they want to listen like what are the things I am going to implement in that search box. We have to make sure that we are using something like debouncing effect, because something when we are tapping, okay, so it should not make a network call directly.
Yeah.
Okay. So because if we are doing it, then we are basically decreasing the web performance.
Yes, exactly.
Then the next question he asked me like, how can you basically think about the chat applications? How do you think about
Chat
the
applications? Okay.
Okay. So how it's basically working, and can you give me some idea about if I want to create a chat application? So what are the things you need to do? What the request I'm going to send in the chat application? So obviously I'm going to send the name and the
ID,
text message, ID, and then picture, URL, all these things I'm going to send it. Okay, then when I'm getting the response, then how can I display? How do I display? What are the things I need to display? These things. Okay, then then I talked about the socket steps, because when I'm typing something and I'm making that request, then again if he is typing and he is sending me the request, so till that time when I am doing something, I am getting the response. So that time, how the basically our UI should have to interfere these things.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So that time,
I mean to say it. The moment when you got a response, that moment you have to display that.
thing.
But in the same time, you are typing it without reloading. Otherwise, what will happen that you are about to send a message, and if it will reload, then whatever you type, it will be gone, right? And this is a bad user experience.
That is basically the concept of WebSockets. So I talked about the WebSockets.
Nice. I have not thought about this. Yeah. So this is the complex level users. You while giving a such kind of answer, don't take it as in granted. Just because the first moment when Deepak told me like, okay, they asked me to chat application, so I was taking it very like, okay, chat application, what else you will have? Only as he said, ID, name, stuff and all, but you have to take care of this scenario as well as you.
That is very important.
And that is very important.
That was the last question about the design. So he asked me about how can you design a listing page when you go into any food ordering app. So when you just open it, okay, or when you are simply typing Gurgaon or simply typing Bangalore, so what you are seeing? You are seeing the whole
list of restaurants
and then he talked about like, okay, that's fine. Now, suppose if I want to do the sorting and all this, then I talked about, I use the sorting like it's sort nearby place, nearby my location, and then the low price to high price.
Okay.
All this sorting stuff. And then I talked about the filtering, because that is also the part. Then he told like, how can you create a filter on that? I told like, I will create this. I write the pseudo code for that.
Okay.
So I thought after giving all the answers like what the question he asked, okay, then I thought that let's put some weightage. So I talked about like I will do the pagination, and then I will do the responsiveness. I will also check what is the like my website is looking into the mobile view. Okay, nice. Yeah. So these are the things which I talked.
Yeah. So I just wanted to add one important point here. So pagination and whatever the terminology he is saying, right, that is very important. So when you are preparing for the interview, just keep that thing in mind. Like pagination, also you have to look into it, and mobile responsive. Also, you have to make sure that all this stuff.
Next question he asked me, like inheritance.
Okay.
So I talked about like what is inheritance and all these things. Then he gave me one problem.
So that was it.
Yeah, so that's all about design related.
I think in round 3 also you faced some numbers of questions. Then I guess I think more than 4, 5.
Yeah, 3 design question and then some programming. Yeah. Then he moved into the React section.
Okay, in the same round.
Okay. Yeah.
Tell me that.
Then he talked about like from how many how much experience you have in the React. So I told about I have around 1.5 years of experience about. Then he talked about, okay, have you worked on Redux also? How can you basically, what is the Redux system, your architecture?
Architect of React.js.
Architect of Redux.
Redux. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I discussed about all the things like what is the use of Redux, why I'm using Redux, all these steps I have talked about. And the last question he asked about how can I communicate data between parent to child component and child to parent component.
Okay, so now tell me the R4. I just wanted to know that what next you're gonna say.
So fourth round is basically on the managerial side. So there is no any technical questions.
Okay.
Finally.
After struggling so hard, starting from screening round to round number 3. Okay, yeah, I can understand your happiness.
He was very cool. He talked about okay, how was your day, and he talked more on like the career growth here, and more about the culture, and talked about like how fast we are growing, and all these things. What a candidate should have to aware of these things.
So basically, sorry to interrupt, Deepak. So this question basically, obviously, he might have gone through your resume. He might have seen that okay, yeah, you have done this. Please explain more.
Yeah. So the resume side, actually, I mentioned all my achievements and the current project. I won 2 times IBM Outstanding Award. So he asked me about that. So maybe I will talk it later.
Maybe a bit later. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry to say that, but I just wanted to understand that okay, from where he is asking a question. Whether is he asking a question from himself, or he saw that okay, you have written this thing in your resume, and then he asked you question.
I think
just wanted to understand that part first. Okay.
Then he asked me, suppose I have 4 apartments or I have 4 properties, and in that property, one property we are able to sold out 90% of rooms and beds what we have, and the rest, the 3 properties,
We are not able to sell it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is around 10% we are able to sell it out. Okay. So how can you basically improve that one? Then he asked about like, have you done any challenging work, and you have you worked something and you feel really like it is something like you feel very happy after doing that, or some challenging work basically he was asking. So he already actually saw my resume, and in that resume, that part which I talked about, that outstanding award.
Yes.
So I thought that this is the best time
To
let's discuss
introduce
about,
my awards now.
Yeah.
Okay.
The last question he asked me, why OYO?
Okay.
That is actually I think that he want to know my intention.
Intention why
we
you
want to work
okay.
here. Then I explained like we are fastest growing company. So in LinkedIn it's has a rank 1, rank 1 company to working like a startup, and so working culture and very fast growing company. So, and it's also one of my dream. So I told all these things.
So how long it was?
It was around 1 hour.
1 hour.
Yeah.
So I think that was the last round then.
Yeah,
for that
last
day?
round. Yeah, that was the last round of that day. And then HR told me like he will get back to me.
Okay.
So it's already 9 o'clock that time.
9 in the night time.
Yeah, it's already 9 o'clock.
And you came at what time?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. 10 to 9.
Yeah.
You could have asked for 1 day salary then. Give me 1 day salary. You deserve that. Okay. Jokes apart, please. Then.
So then HR told me that he will get back to me. Yeah.
So basically, so in short, you can say that you spent almost 10 to 9. That means almost 11 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. So 11 hours, but in single day.
In a single day.
Right. So in single day, everything happened. Right.
Yeah.
Nice. Wow. So it was very, very nice experience. Literally, I meant to say, the first time I faced someone who faced actually more than 10 questions in one single round. Okay. So Deepak. So lastly, can you give some kind of pro tips to the users who's coming for the interview, especially for the OYO, for the front end developer types interview.
Yeah. So I think candidates should have to prepare well for DS and Algo.
DS and Algo.
Yeah. So they have to basically prepare for Linklist, stack, queue, and mandatory also.
Trees.
So, yeah.
Okay.
And then in JS part, they have to go through the depth concept of JS, and HTML CSS is also very important. So we can't ignore it. What is the framework knowledge you have? So it doesn't matter that a person should have to know React or the Angular. So any framework knowledge which you have, that should be
Good
like
enough.
sound enough.
Yeah, that's it. And anything you wanted to say in the resume part? Like writing a resume is also a kind of art, right?
Yeah.
What all the information you have to reveal just
So in resume part, always mentions your achievement. So like people basically missed it. Okay. So like what the awards you have got and what the skills and what the project you are basically doing it. Any challenging role if you are facing it. So always mention that thing. When the recruiter will see your resume, that is only the catching
point. Yeah.
and always mention your skills because he will simply search through some
Keywords. Yeah, exactly.
you have
That
to
is
match.
very important. Yeah. Okay, so I think we are done for the day. And thanks a lot, Deepak. Really appreciate your time. Now, one last request to you, Deepak. Now, please tell to user about our channel. Whatever.
Yeah, so hi guys, it's really a great initiative. It will really help for the candidate who basically targeting for some like tier 1 company. So really it's a great initiative. So please promote this channel, thumbs up, like it, subscribe it.
And share it.
Yeah.
Okay. Who knows that you will be the next one. If you wanted to get a referral here in OYO, so I think they can contact Deepak, right?
Yep.
And how you can contact? You can find Deepak's LinkedIn profile in the description below, right? So good luck.